light, Ethan, Ben, Ellie, and Harris move cautiously toward the faint orange glow ahead. The air is thick with dust, and the sound of distant dripping water echoes through the cavern.
What if it's more of them?
Number Greys don't need fire. That's human-made.
Ethan tightens his grip on his metal pipe, his eyes scanning the path ahead.
I hope it's people.
Stay behind me, both of you.
They inch forward. As they round a corner, the tunnel widens into a larger cavern. Several makeshift torches are planted into the ground, casting flickering light onto a group of survivors. Survivor camp. Continuous. A dozen weary people sit around, scattered supplies. A man in a military jacket, mid-40s, stands up, his hand on a pistol.
You're either lost or you're running from something.
Both.
Harris steps forward, recognizing the leader.
Cooper? You're alive.
Harris, thought you were dead.
Harris and Cooper clasp hands briefly, but the tension remains. The other survivors watch Ethan and his kids warily.
Who are they?
Just the father keeping his kids alive.
Cooper studies them before nodding.
Then you're not alone. Welcome to the last bit of Yorkshire they haven't torched yet.
Ellie clutches Ethan's sleeve, eyeing the tired survivors. Ben scans the group, noting a few armed fighters, a couple of injured, and a small stockpile of supplies.
Is this a safe place?
For now. But the Greys keep looking, and we're running out of places to hide.
As the group settles in, a distant rumble shakes the tunnel. Something is moving above them. Survivor camp. Underground cavern. Night. The survivors are gathered around a dim fire, the flickering light casting long shadows on the stone walls. Ethan sits with Ben and Ellie, quietly eating a small ration of food. Cooper stands near the tunnel entrance, listening intently to the distant rumbling from above.
That's not just movement. That's them. They're searching.
They're getting closer.
Ben glances at Ethan, worry in his young eyes.
What if they find us?
Then we fight. But only if we have to.
Ellie clutches her father's arm, eyes wide with fear.
I don't want to fight.
Ethan pulls her close, shielding her from the growing tension in the camp. Cooper steps forward. Cooper, addressing the group.
We've survived this long because we don't make noise, we don't leave tracks, and we stay underground. But we can't stay forever. If they find one entrance, they'll find them all.
So what do? We can't fight those things.
Running isn't an option either. Where would we go?
Harris stands up, rubbing his temples.
If we had weapons, real weapons, we could at least defend ourselves. But right now, we're sitting ducks.
Cooper sighs and looks at Ethan.
You've seen what they can do. What do you think?
Ethan looks at his children, then at the survivors. He exhales slowly before answering.
If we move, we have a chance. If we stay, we're dead.
A heavy silence settles over the camp. Then, a faint metallic scraping sound from above. The group freezes. Ben's hand grips Ellie's, their knuckles turning white. Cooper raises his hand, signaling for silence. The sound grows louder. The Greys are directly above them.
Kill the fire, now.
One of the survivors hurriedly snuffs out the flames, plunging the cavern into darkness. The scraping shifts to a dull, rhythmic thudding. Something heavy is moving overhead.
They know we're here.
Ethan wraps an arm around her, holding her close as the survivors press against the cavern walls, barely breathing. Then, a loud crash. A chunk of the tunnel ceiling caves in, sending dust and debris raining down. A shrieking, mechanical roar. A biomechanical Grey drops into the cavern, 8 feet tall, its glowing red eyes scanning the darkness. Cooper draws his pistol. Ethan grips his pipe. The survivors are outmatched, but there's no choice. They have to fight. Survivor camp, underground cavern, night. The biomechanical Grey looms in the darkness, its glowing red eyes scanning. Dust and debris swirl in the air as the survivors scramble for cover.
Ben, Ellie, stay behind me.
Ethan pushes them back as Cooper raises his pistol and fires. The shot echoes in the cavern, hitting the Grey's chest plate, but the bullet barely dents it. Metallic thunk, a low growl from the Grey. The creature raises its arm, a spiked projectile cannon unfolding from its armor. It aims. Move! The survivors scatter just as the Grey fires. Sharp, metallic spikes slam into the stone walls, sending shards flying. One survivor screams as a spike impales his leg.
It's gonna kill us all.
Cooper reloads, backing up. Ethan grabs a nearby metal rod, eyes darting for a weak spot.
The joints.
Ethan glances at his son, who's staring at the Grey's exposed knee joints, where the armor plates separate when it moves.
Got it.
He charges forward, dodging another shot. He swings the rod hard into the joint, a sickening crunch as the metal buckles slightly. The Grey staggers, its balance momentarily off.
Keep hitting it.
Harris grabs a heavy rock and hurls it at the Grey's head, but it barely flinches. Another survivor stabs at it with a makeshift spear, only for the weapon to snap in half against its armor.
What do we do?
Ben looks around frantically, spotting a hanging support beam above.
The beam. We can drop it on its head.
Ethan follows his son's gaze, seeing the loose support holding a pile of debris above. He makes a split-second decision.
Everyone, back against the walls.
The survivors scramble away as Ethan grips a rusted chain attached to the beam. The Grey snarls, turning toward him. Grey POV, target locked. It raises its weapon, but before it can fire, Ethan yanks the chain with all his strength. A deafening crack. The support beam snaps. A cascade of heavy rocks and metal bars collapses from above, slamming into the Grey. It lets out a distorted, mechanical shriek as it's buried under the rubble.
Is it dead?
The dust settles. The Grey's clawed hand twitches from beneath the debris before falling still. Silence fills the cavern.
Did we win?
Ben grips her hand tightly, staring at the wreckage. Ethan, still catching his breath, turns to Cooper.
That was one. There'll be more.
Cooper nods grimly. Harris checks the wounded survivor, tying a makeshift bandage around his leg.
We can't stay here anymore. If they weren't sure where we were before, they are now.
We need a new plan. Fast.
Ethan looks down at Ben and Ellie. They survived this fight, but the war is far from over.
If you liked this video, please think about subscribing.